So for the tea today, since this is like a women's organization, it's Women's Month, I went with a very women-focused tea blend of raspberry leaf and goji berry. So the raspberry leaf, I'm sure you probably know, is very supportive for balancing hormones, full of vitamins, antioxidants, and it's great for especially like getting your cycles balanced. And then the goji berries also have a lot of antioxidants in there, and the beta carotene, iron as well too, which I never really thought about the iron content in goji berry, but they have more iron in them than spinach, which I just learned that this morning. And another thing that helps support women's hormone balance. So since we're supporting women, we'd have a tea that also supports women. Yeah. So I'm going to get you a cup of it.
I'm excited.
I brewed this a little earlier, so it was a little strong there. I had to top it off, but
I'm excited about it. I love raspberry, so I'm a fan.
Yeah, the raspberry leaf teas. That at home, I usually blend these two, and then also red clover too. So just
that's interesting.
Like a whole women's support tea for hormone balance, because sometimes we need that.
All the time.
All the time. I need to balance my life. But anyway, now that we've had our tea finally, welcome back to another episode of Here's the Tea, where each month we explore the different nonprofits that we are featuring in our reusable bag program. Today I am here with Dr. Sue. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
And so let's check out this bag. We got our lovely orange bag, and it's got this beautiful watercolor design through a window. So our artist that does our bag design, he gives a statement and lets us know a little bit about what inspired him for the design each month.
It's so beautiful. I mean, the colors, it's like a watercolor.
It's very spring, very fresh, very new dawn, new dawn. It's
I love it. I absolutely love it.
So this design, titled A New Dawn, captures the literal and metaphorical beauty of a fresh start as seen through the window of a new home. Using a vibrant watercolor-inspired style and warm oranges and yellows, the six-pane view transitions from a hopeful sunrise over the horizon to a flourishing garden of flowers below. This piece serves as a visual celebration of Erie Dawn's mission to provide housing and stability, illustrating the peace and possibility that come with having a safe place to call your own.
Oh, it's so beautiful.
My heart.
See, it's all women focused. Oh my gosh, that is so beautiful.
So, so Erie Dawn has been around since 1995, right?
Okay. Yeah, before my time working there.
Okay.
I was still young way back in that day. Since 1995, it was originally established by 3 religious orders.
Okay.
We're not under those entities anymore, but they still have some, affiliations because they're pretty strong forces in a sense in the community. We became our own affiliation back in 2020, and we help women in any kind of homeless or unhoused situations. So whatever that means to help them overcome their obstacles is kind of in a sense what we do. They have to be working because we want highly motivated women that are in a sense either trying to get out of a cycle of poverty or being unhoused and on to being self-sufficient.
Awesome.
So it's kind of an intense program. But when the women are in it and they're sticking to it, they have a lot of goals that they're working on and are really successful. So good track record with all of it. So I love it. I love working there.
How as somebody who might be in need of help with housing, how do they get involved, or how do they contact you and begin the process?
So they can reach out to us any number of ways. A lot of times people just go to our website, which is the www.eriedawn.org. They can just call us up to reach out for services. Sometimes they get other referrals if they're already working with another nonprofit or maybe counselor, therapist. it's we don't really there's certain ways in a sense to go through our program. There's like a local system that can kind of filter people, but it's if somebody needs services, or even if they have a friend or family member, they can just contact us and we'll see if they're a fit for the program.
Okay. Yeah. So this program serves women in the community that are like in between housing or need to get out of housing.
Correct.
You work with the landlords,
We do.
local landlords? Okay.
We do, yeah. So a lot of times the women, there's a couple of different programs that we have, but some of them have a lease already and they're trying to stay in that lease.
Got it.
And become, in a sense, not become homeless. That's kind of the term that people use, which is not always the greatest term, but but that's kind of the term.
And a lot of people don't think of it like people get into these situations not because they just never had a living situation, but like times are tough and like
really
sometimes
tough.
one giant medical expense can like that's your next 2 months rent, and like people are in these situations where they have to choose between like their prescriptions and their rent, and like to have that safety net there to help guide women, like that's so important, and I love that.
And the other thing too is they could be in possibly a shelter. We get a lot of referrals that way too. Same thing, or somebody could be staying with friends or family. They could be coming from kind of any number of situations, but people become unhoused or on that potential, that border of becoming that, which is really scary for so many reasons. I know we don't like to talk about kind of the pandemic time, but that's when I came into Erie Dawn, and we had so many women that were moms and had young kids. And remember back at the time we heard a lot of like the schools and daycares opening and closing, and people would lose their jobs. And you lose your jobs, exactly that, a month of no pay or 2 months of no pay, and not a lot of people have that safety cushion. So the other thing too is rent and all life expenses are crazy high anymore. And, trying to have, that to afford, and then how to juggle all that with, jobs. And a lot of people have several jobs to do it. It's not like they're not working.
And if you have several jobs and you have kids, then you need to worry about childcare too.
Exactly. Like, it's kind of a mess. It kind of really is a mess. And our community, in a sense, isn't always, putting women in vulnerable situations at the forefront, and we really should be, because that's such a huge number. That's half of our community in a sense of women.
The next generation's mothers, essentially. Like we need those moms there. And the poverty rates in this community, and even that's kind of a not so great term, but it's true. We have that. It's huge, and in our community, in our county, I think we have like the lowest income zip code in the country.
We do
16502.
We do. Isn't that sad? That's so sad. So that's what we're trying to really help and kind of almost like intervene in a sense. And so the women come to us, and it's really trying to work with them on whether it's financial, budgeting and wellness, and increasing credit scores and getting out of debt. Really looking over stuff like that, trying to alleviate some of those obstacles of, is it daycare? Is it trying to get into school? Is it, what are those things? And really sitting down and working with them on this, and trying to also educate the community. You mentioned landlords. Yes, we work with landlords. We have a couple properties, and but we're also trying to make sure that landlords are doing their job. We want our women, in a sense, to be good tenants, so we're teaching a lot on that, and trying to like what to look for, and not to be taken advantage of, and make sure that part of our mission is a safe, affordable, permanent space for them, and if they have kids too. But we want the landlords to make sure that they're doing their end of everything.
That's another thing Erie is notorious for.
And we don't have housing courts, so that's a big thing here. Is that there's no way other than going to your landlord, who might not be willing to work with you, or going to district justice to try to alleviate some of that. So those processes can be really long, really pricey, and trying to get through that, a lot of people, it's just really tough, and not having a resource to do so. It can throw you back or get you into an eviction, and it's not always everybody's fault. So, and that's what next landlord would look for, is do you have an eviction? So that's the other thing too. And if you do for some reason, then that's a strike against you, and they might not house you. So the cycle continues, unfortunately. It's not easy. So, but
it seems like an uphill battle, but thankfully you guys are here. So you help with finding housing. Are there any other programs that you offer through the organization?
That's, in a sense, the main one, that the case management, education. There's times if we have financial assistance, we can help, provide that as well with our women. We just started, and this was back, kind of more recently when there was a lot of the government talk, because we pay a lot of attention to that and funding. But when benefits were going to get alleviated, and so we have women that are, that are on benefits or even not, and just, how are they going to provide basic needs for them and their kids? And so we started our own food pantry, an in-house food pantry, and so that's been really successful, and it helps so many. And we have personal care items as well and household items. But it's nice when, they come to us, or maybe it's for a meeting, or they just call us up and, it's like, hey, I don't, I'm not getting paid until Friday. How do I get through the rest of the week? And I have 2 kids.
And they're already there anyway.
Exactly.
So just pick a little something up on your way out.
And we let them do that too. And the room is pretty stocked because we've gotten some really great donors and donations in with that. And that's ongoing. And so, and that's just, we don't have any current partnerships with anybody to do so. And so that's just really been on our own. I mean, if I have items at home, I'll bring them in, because I'm thinking I don't need this many cans of, the garbanzo beans. Yeah. Love them, but, I don't need 20 cans of them. And so, but maybe somebody else could use them in their time of need. One of the things, I'll say this, kind of being in charge of this program, and whether it's been with, employees or, just women I talk to, I can't tell you the amount of women, including myself, that probably could have benefited or been in this program years ago. I think I'm, at least right now, kind of out of a space that I'm not, luckily. But I think that's why there's so many of us that kind of, in a sense, can relate to that. Yeah. Is that it's not far away from us, and kind of being unhoused or needing assistance, and it's not always easy to ask for. Yeah. You have to have, in a sense,
it's very humbling.
It's humbling, and when you don't have a support system, or you can't go to, maybe your support system's also in need of things, right? And so that has been very eye-opening too. I think so many women I've talked to, they're like, "Gosh, I could have used your program." I think that to my, all the time too. I'm like, "Gosh, all those." I was in school for a long time and trying to juggle jobs and always working nonprofits. I'm like, "Gosh, I could have used this program. It's a great program." So that's one of the things moving forward, is that we're going to be really putting ourselves out there. We've been around for 31 years, and there's so much of a need. It's more women need to know about us, and how can we help? So
awesome. So you mentioned you have it at like the pantry at your location, which is next to the Zone.
Yep, we're in that plaza. Yep, right on West 18th. We're in that plaza. There's another nonprofit, Crime Victim Center. So right on between Peach and Sass. Okay. On West 18th, and yep, we're right there.
Okay, so if anybody needs to find you, that we know where you're
pretty
at.
Easy location to get to. Okay. In a sense. So yeah, we're kind of known.
Nice. Because that's right, super centrally located to town. Yeah. So are there any upcoming fundraising things that we're working on here? Like, what can we look forward to?
Yeah, well, it's Women's History Month, March, all March. So this is like perfect timing with everything from the tea and, and this beautiful bag design. But all month we're celebrating women. And on March 22nd, it's a Sunday, we are doing a big women's networking brunch. It's a celebration of women, and it's our Rise and Shine Women's Brunch. It's at the Art Museum, because we kind of outgrew beautiful space last year. But it's from, 11 to 2 that day, and we're having a little vendor market. This is really cool. We purposely did all women vendors that we're using for this whole thing. Amazing. So the caterer to the DJ, we have a DJ, to the DJ. Who's the caterer? I'm curious. It's Make It Fabulous Catering.
Love her. Love Stephanie.
Yep. It's great food, right?
Yes.
We have our signature, I can't leave this out, because we also have Taylor and Tonic. So she's a local bartender and does that, but we're doing our signature mimosa bar.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, this is
open to the public.
Women can attend. Women. And I know it's kind of like a little bit more like exclusive.
Sorry.
But yeah, that's the one time we really feel like we can feature and highlight women. People can go to our website, purchase tickets, but it's the food, the beverages. We're gonna have a little coffee station too, but it's a lot of networking, and we have speakers too, which are women in Erie that are leaders, aspiring leaders. this is really an event that we want to highlight women who are in the community that are doing amazing, great work that you might not always hear about. Maybe you do. We just, one of our speakers is our new mayor. She's only the second female mayor in our community. We thought that was pretty special. And we asked her way before she was even mayor. So that was kind of a cool thing too. But yep, Daria Devlin is there. We have Monica Graves Garcia. So she does Soulfest. So we're actually working with her on that, which is in June. We have Erin Kerner, who does a lot of marketing events, things like that as well. And we have Muriel, who has the Barb's Child Care Center. So we really wanted kind of a diverse group, but just women that are kind of up and rising, and to put them up there and say, you know, hey, like, what are you doing? Let's talk about you and your experience. I want to say this too. Our lead sponsor is the first woman, and I grew up with her, and I had no idea about this. But she is a woman. She was our first graduate of Erie Dawn, so which is really special. And she's doing amazing in her life and really successful. She's not in town anymore, but she wanted to be our lead sponsor. You know, in a sense, just to
that's a whole full circle.
It is, like, you know. So when I found that out too, I was just so touched because her name is Naomi Harvey. But yeah, she was our first graduate. She was a young mom, homeless situations, and I know her biggest thing is she was given a chance. And so she was given a chance, and then kind of in a sense, you know, if you hear her story, it's like, look where she's at now. Wow. So and that's what a lot of us need. It's just that second chance, that new dawn, you know, the dawn of a day in a sense.
Yeah, and to show that it's not going to be like this forever. No. Just like all these wonderful examples of strong, powerful women that have, you know, maybe had a rough patch in their life, but that doesn't define them. No. And like they go on to be so much stronger and bold and amazing. And
yeah, and that's such a great point, because you know what? One of the things I tell people, we're all human. You know, I mean, we have good days, good times, bad times, and so that's okay. Yeah. You know, and so that's one of the things that's it can be very humbling, because I think that we kind of always are looking outward and of who's doing what and trying to almost like, I don't want to say competing, but you recognize those things of when somebody's doing great. And there's so much emphasis on, you know, visual and social media and all this stuff, which is fabulous in some aspects, but sometimes it's, you know, women were really hard on ourselves, and we might compare whatever. And so it's okay to know that not every day has to be perfect. We all go through rough times, and when that happens, I don't even want to say if that happens, when that happens, that there's other people out there to help you through it and support you. So that's key, I think.
Rising tides raise all boats.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
If we're all doing well, then like we're good.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and the other thing too is we're really dependent in a sense, and I don't mean to say that in a negative connotation way, but in a good way. We're dependent on our community, you know, for the work that we do, because we can't do this alone. We have so many, you know, community partners and resources that we use, because we know what we're good at, and then we expect everybody else, even, you know, artists to do, you know, to do their thing, and what are they good at to help us out. So stuff like this is huge to us, because it's a beautiful moment. I mean, it's so beautiful, but it's like we need things like this to kind of help us through, or whether it's our food pantry or monetary donations or whatever it is. It's like, you know, the saying, it takes a village. I mean, it literally takes a village to make all that happen. Yeah. So.
And it's such a nice visual for, like, I feel like it very visually represents like the like message of the organization, like we are here for a new dawn, like open up the window of your new house and look out into your new life. Like it's just
anybody, I don't want to say anybody can have it, but anybody can have that. It's like, you know, it's focused and get a support system, and there's people that can help through that. I know that we were talking just for a minute, like before the interview, and it's like, I don't know why people took a chance on me, you know, and so sometimes we need that though, and they did. And so I kind of look at that too, of like, wow, look where I am. There's always improvements. I'm always working on myself, but we all need that person to, you know, to take a chance. And so then maybe we can have some of these, you know, beautiful opportunities, looking out a window, and
just one person believing in you can help you believe in yourself.
Exactly. So and so March is always the month that, you know, I really reflect on that and look at the other women, whether it's current women, you know, of today, or women in past, or whether it's family or friends, or, you know, women of the world that, you know, have gotten us to this point. To have the opportunity to be that person and to have that voice is huge. So
my brain's not
this
functioning
is
today.
So delicious, by the way.
Glad you like it.
Really good.
But thank you again for joining us for this episode of Here's the Tea. Thank you again, Dr. Sue, for joining us. Keep your eyes peeled for the new bags. They are available all this month until they sell out, if they don't sell out. And then they will be available to donate to through the Wood Nickel program after that. But thank you very much for joining us, and have a lovely rest of your day, and stay sassy.